Hey there, and welcome to Boys Love Story, where we bring you touching BL school romances that will warm your heart and stir your emotions. Each episode on this channel is a unique journey of love. Whether it's sweet, slow burn, dramatic, or healing, our stories are crafted to make you feel seen and comforted. Today's story falls into the school BL genre and is all about young love, emotional growth, and moments that make your heart flutter. Title: He Calls Me Stupid But Always Cares. Genre: School life, BL, sweet romance, drama, So grab your headphones, get cozy, and let your imagination drift into a world where boys fall in love, quietly, boldly, and beautifully. The sharp scent of paint filled the air as Ren Hayashi carefully mixed colors on his palette. It was the last period of the day art class. For Ren, this was the only class where he didn't feel invisible. While he wasn't top of the class or particularly talkative, the art room was the one place he felt safe. Safe enough to be himself. He glanced down at his canvas, a half-finished landscape of a rainy street at dusk. It wasn't perfect, but he liked how the colors blended, soft and melancholic. Just like how he often felt inside. "Oi, Hayashi, don't space out," the art teacher called from across the room. Sorry." Ren bowed his head instinctively and adjusted his grip on the brush. He hadn't noticed the person who had sat down next to him. Only when he heard the slight rustle of paper and the scent of something crisp, maybe mint, did he glance sideways. It was Kaito Tachibana. Just his luck. Kaito was the top student of Class 2B, tall, sharp-eyed, and always carrying that air of someone too cool to be bothered. His uniform was always immaculate, his tie always properly done, unlike the other guys. And he rarely talked unless necessary, except when scolding people. Ren gulped, focusing on his painting again. Of all the empty seats, why did Kaito sit next to him today? As the period dragged on, Ren slowly lost himself in his work again. He reached for the blue paint, except his elbow bumped into the edge of the water cup. The jar tipped. He tried to grab it, but it was too late. Splash. Blue paint flew across the table. A loud silence followed. Ren froze in horror. The blue liquid had landed right on Kaito's crisp white shirt. "Oh no! I'm so sorry!" Ren jumped up, panicking. His hand shook as he grabbed tissues, trying to blot the mess. "I didn't mean to, really." Kaito stared at the stain, then at Ren. Everyone in the room paused to see what would happen. Kaito's expression didn't change. No anger. No yelling. Instead, he let out a sigh. "You really are stupid." Ren blinked, stunned. That was it? He waited for more: an insult, a glare, maybe a shove, but Kaito simply turned away, pulling out his phone. Then, the teacher walked over. "What happened here?" Before Ren could open his mouth, Kaito spoke calmly. "I wasn't paying attention. My elbow hit the paint." Ren's eyes widened. "Why? Wasn't Hayashi's fault?" Kaito added, not even looking at him. The teacher looked unconvinced but nodded. "All right. Be careful next time." As she walked away, Ren stared at Kaito in disbelief. Why? Why would he cover for him? Thank you," Ren murmured. Kaito looked at him out of the corner of his eye, expression unreadable. "Clean your palette. It's messy." With that, he got up and left the room, blue stain and all. The rain had started sometime during the last period. It pattered softly against the windows of the hallway as Ren made his way to his shoe locker. He sighed, still thinking about earlier. Kaito hadn't said another word to him after that. Not even a glance. Did he hate him now? Was he just pretending to be calm? Ren reached his locker and opened it. And froze. Sitting neatly on top of his shoes was a folded navy blue umbrella. There was no note, no name, just an umbrella. He looked around. The hallway was mostly empty, save for a few students hurrying to get home. He picked it up slowly. It was slightly warm, maybe recently handled. And familiar. Ren's heart pounded. Was it from Kaito? No way. Why would someone like Kaito go out of his way for someone like him? But no one else knew he hadn't brought an umbrella today. No one else even talked to him. He bit his lip, fingers tightening around the handle. He stepped outside, opening the umbrella. The rain fell in gentle sheets around him, like the background of one of his paintings. As he walked, he caught a glimpse of someone ahead, just turning the corner. A tall figure, holding a jacket over his head instead of an umbrella. Was that Kaito? But the figure had already disappeared. That night, Ren sat at his desk, sketchbook open. Instead of working on his art project, he found himself sketching a different scene. A boy standing in the rain, holding out an umbrella, while another boy looked up at him in surprise. He smiled faintly, pencil paused mid-stroke. "You really are stupid," he whispered, mimicking Kaito's voice under his breath. But somehow, it didn't sound cruel. It sounded kind. Maybe even gentle. And for the first time in a while, Ren didn't feel like disappearing. The classroom buzzed with chatter as the homeroom teacher taped a list of project pairs onto the whiteboard. Ren Hayashi kept his eyes down, tracing imaginary lines on his desk with his finger. Group work always made him nervous. He wasn't good at talking to people. And no one ever really wanted to be his partner anyway. "All right, everyone, check the board for your partner for the Culture Day presentation," the teacher called. Ren hesitated before getting up. Slowly, he approached the list. He scanned the names until he saw his own. Hayashi Ren, Tachibana Kaito. His stomach dropped. "Kaito," he whispered to himself. "That's weird," someone nearby muttered. "Why would those two be paired?" Ren turned and noticed several students whispering, some even glancing his way. He quickly sat back down. Kaito hadn't arrived yet. As if on cue, the door slid open. Kaito strolled in, bag over one shoulder, eyes as calm and unreadable as ever. He barely acknowledged the class as he took his seat. "Yo, Kaito!" Yuto called from across the room, smirking. "Guess you're babysitting this week." A few people chuckled. Ren shrunk into his seat. But Kaito didn't respond. He just opened his notebook, completely ignoring the comment. When the bell rang and the teacher left, Kaito stood and made his way to Ren's desk. Ren braced himself. "Library. Lunch break," Kaito said, dropping a paper onto his desk. Ren looked down. It was a rough outline for their project. Neat, organized, already divided by roles. Kaito was already walking away. The school library was quiet at noon, save for the occasional whisper or turn of a page. Ren sat nervously across from Kaito at one of the smaller tables in the corner. Sunlight filtered in through the windows, painting a warm glow across the desk. "I can take the visual part," Ren offered hesitantly. "Like the poster or—" "You're better at drawing than writing," Kaito said without looking up. "Makes sense." Ren blinked. "You think I'm good?" "You're not bad." He flipped a page. "Just stop using so many pastels for serious topics. You make war history look like Candyland." Ren let out a small, surprised laugh. "I guess you're right." Kaito looked up, briefly, and smirked. "Stupid." Ren pouted. "You're still calling me that?" "It fits." But there was no bite to his words. Just teasing. And Ren felt a little warmer inside. The next few days passed with Ren and Kaito spending more time together. They stayed after school in the library, reviewed notes during breaks, and even sat together during lunch once, though Kaito claimed it was just for convenience. But people noticed. Whispers followed them in the hallways. I heard Kaito actually laughed yesterday. Was he with Hayashi? Do you think they're? No way. Kaito could do so much better. Ren did his best to ignore it. He was used to being talked about. But this time, it hurt more. Because now, he cared. One afternoon, Ren was washing his hands in the restroom when he heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw Miyazawa class beauty, top of the social ladder, and the girl who'd always had a not-so-subtle crush on Kaito. I need to talk to you, she said bluntly, arms crossed. Ren froze. Oh, okay. Mio stepped closer. You and Kaito, what's going on? And nothing, Ren replied quickly. We're just partners for the project. You think I'm stupid? She snapped. You're always around him now, laughing like you're special or something. Ren flinched. Mio leaned in, her voice low. He's not someone you can just get close to, Hayashi. People like you don't belong next to someone like him. Ren swallowed hard. I didn't mean. Stay away from him. Her words were icy. Before you embarrass yourself more than you already have. She turned and walked out, leaving Ren standing alone, hands trembling under the cold faucet. The next day during gym class, Ren was forced to join the boys' soccer game. He didn't mind running around, he just wished people wouldn't always glare at him like he was in the way. Yuto, the class clown with a mean streak, kicked the ball deliberately hard. It hit Ren straight in the back. He collapsed onto the ground with a grunt. Oh! Oh no, my bad! Yuto called sarcastically. Didn't see you there, Hayashi. You kinda blend in with the grass. The other boys laughed. Ren sat up slowly, biting his lip, humiliated. Suddenly, a shadow fell over him. Kaito. He was standing between Ren and the others, arms crossed, face stone cold. That wasn't funny, he said. Yuto snorted. Relax, Kaito. It was a joke. Try that again. And I'll make sure you regret it. His voice was calm, but deadly serious. Yuto went quiet. The laughter faded. Kaito turned to Ren and held out a hand. Ren hesitated, then took it. As Kaito helped him up, their eyes met briefly. No words. Just understanding. That evening, as the sky turned orange, Ren sat on the school rooftop with his sketchbook open. He had drawn something new. A tall boy standing in front of a crowd, shielding someone smaller behind him. The title scrawled beneath. Everyone's watching, but I only see you. A soft voice interrupted him. Don't get used to me saving you. Ren looked up. Kaito leaned against the railing, arms crossed. But thank you, Ren said sincerely. Kaito looked away. Ears slightly red. You really are stupid. But he sat down beside him anyway. The lunch bell rang, and as usual, Ren tried to slip out of the classroom quietly. He clutched his bento tightly, head low, hoping to make it to the art room before anyone stopped him. But just as he reached the door, a hand grabbed his wrist. Come with me, Kaito said, tone flat but firm. Where? Kaito didn't answer. He simply tugged Ren down the hallway, past the rows of lockers, up 2 flights of stairs, and through the heavy metal door leading to the rooftop. Ren stumbled along, confused, until the wind hit his face. The rooftop was empty. Quiet, except for the breeze rustling the safety fences and a distant crow cawing. Kaito let go of his wrist and turned to face him. What's wrong? Ren asked cautiously. Kaito narrowed his eyes. Why do you always let people walk all over you? Ren blinked. Huh? I saw you this morning. Yuto accidentally knocked your books over. You just smiled and picked them up like it was nothing. Ren looked down, clutching his lunch tighter. Kaito stepped forward. And Mio. She cornered you in the hallway yesterday, didn't she? Ren didn't answer, but the flicker of guilt on his face gave it away. Kaito scoffed. Do you enjoy being everyone's punching bag? And no. Of course not. Then why do you keep acting like you deserve it? Ren's throat tightened. He started, then trailed off. Kaito waited, arms crossed. Ren finally looked up. I just don't want to cause trouble. I'm not good at fighting back. And honestly, I don't think I'm worth defending. Silence. The wind blew gently between them, carrying the soft sound of the city below. Kaito's expression shifted, still serious, but softer now. He took a step closer. You really think that? Ren nodded. Kaito let out a quiet sigh. You're more than you think, Ren. Ren's heart skipped. It was the first time Kaito had said his name. Kaito turned away and leaned on the railing, looking out at the schoolyard below. I've seen your art. All of it. In the classroom. In your sketchbook during club hour. Even the one you left behind last semester in the art room. Ren blinked. You remember that? Kaito nodded. The cityscape at night. You used so many layers of blue and gold. It looked like it was glowing. I stood there staring at it for 10 minutes. Ren's face turned red. I didn't think anyone noticed. I did, Kaito said simply. And I thought it was beautiful. Ren's chest tightened. That word beautiful was never one he thought could be used for something he made. Not by someone like Kaito. I draw because I don't know how else to express things, Ren murmured. Words are hard. Kaito looked back at him. Then keep drawing. But stop acting like your existence is a mistake. Ren felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes, but this time they weren't from pain. They were from something warmer. Maybe from being seen. Later that day, Ren returned to the classroom after gym class, slightly out of breath. He had left his sketchbook on his desk during lunch and meant to retrieve it before art club. But when he reached his seat, it was gone. He looked around in panic. Did anyone see my sketchbook? Mio's voice rang out from the back. Looking for this? She stood there, flipping casually through the pages of his book, his personal drawings, including the one he'd sketched recently of a tall boy shielding another from the rain. Kaito. Ren's heart dropped. Give it back. Aw, how cute, she cooed mockingly. You drew him again. And again. Wow. You're really obsessed, huh? Gasps and giggles rippled through the class. Mio, stop, Ren pleaded, voice shaking. But she held up a page for everyone to see. Do you guys think Kaito knows he has a little stalker? That word. Stalker. It echoed in Ren's mind like a gunshot. I said give it back, he shouted. That surprised everyone, including himself. Kaito, who had just entered the room, paused at the doorway. Mio turned, startled. Give him the damn book, Kaito said coldly. Mio faltered, but tried to smile. I was just showing. Kaito stepped forward. Touch it again, and I'll report you for harassment. Her expression darkened, but she shoved the sketchbook into Ren's chest and stormed out. The room fell silent. Kaito turned to Ren. Are you okay? Ren stared at him, still shaking. But then, slowly, he nodded. Thanks. Kaito didn't say anything. He just placed a gentle hand on Ren's head, then pulled it away awkwardly. Ren laughed, despite himself. Still calling me stupid later? Kaito smirked. Only if you go back to letting people walk all over you. Ren clutched the sketchbook to his chest. For the first time, he felt like he had the right to take up space. And someone who would fight for that space with him. The sound of quiet footsteps echoed in the empty hallway. Ren stood outside the faculty office, fingers clutching a thin document envelope. Inside it, his school transfer form. He hadn't told anyone. Not even the art teacher, not even his parents. But after everything that happened with Mio and the constant whispers, the stairs in the halls, the vandalized desk this morning with "creep" scribbled across it, he knew he couldn't stay. He was tired of being the weak one. Tired of pretending he wasn't hurting. If he disappeared quietly, no one would notice. No one would care. Or so he thought. The next day, Kaito frowned when Ren didn't show up for homeroom. Then for gym. Then for art club. He tried texting, no reply. Then he overheard a whisper from two girls in the hallway. "Did you hear? Hayashi's transferring." "Really?" Makes sense after all the drama. The words hit Kaito like a punch to the chest. Ren stood near the faculty office again during lunch, envelope still unopened in his hand. His fingers trembled slightly. "Just submit it," he muttered to himself. "It's better this way." He raised the envelope to knock on the door. "Don't you dare." The voice came from behind him, low, sharp, and full of something that sounded almost panicked. Ren froze. He didn't have to turn around to know. "Kaito." Ren tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat. Kaito marched up to him, eyes burning. "So that's it? You were just going to disappear without saying anything?" Ren flinched. "I didn't want to make it harder." "Harder for who? You? Me?" Ren lowered his head. "It's not your problem, Kaito." Kaito stepped in closer, voice tight. "You think I protected you all this time because it was some kind of hobby?" Ren's grip on the envelope tightened. "You think I sat next to you every day, defended you, noticed every damn time you looked like you were about to cry because what? I felt sorry for you." "I didn't say that." "You didn't have to." Kaito's voice cracked. A long silence fell between them. Only the sound of wind rattling a windowpane nearby. "I didn't think you'd care this much," Ren whispered. Kaito looked at him, something raw flickering in his eyes. "I told you. You're more than you think." Then, in a voice so quiet it almost disappeared into the air, "Because I like you." Ren looked up, stunned. Kaito exhaled like the words physically hurt to say. "I like you. I probably have for a while. Even when I called you stupid. Maybe especially then." Ren's eyes filled with tears. "Even when you call me stupid," he whispered, voice shaking, "it always felt like love." Kaito blinked, startled. Ren gave a trembling smile. "Because it was the only time I felt seen. Even when the whole world ignored me, you didn't." The envelope slipped from Ren's fingers and fluttered to the floor. Kaito stared at it, then looked back at Ren. "Then don't go," he said. Ren nodded, eyes shining. "Okay." They sat on the rooftop again that afternoon, as clouds rolled in and the wind carried the scent of incoming rain. Kaito handed Ren a juice box. Ren blinked. "You bought this for me? Don't make a big deal out of it. You bought peach. I like peach." Kaito looked away, clearly flustered. "You mentioned it once." "I remembered." Ren sipped, then smiled gently. "Thank you for everything. Really." Kaito gave a quiet grunt. "If you ever try to disappear again, I'll drag you back." Ren laughed. "Even if I'm being stupid?" Kaito finally looked at him softly, fully, and nodded. "Yeah. Even then." The classroom was unusually quiet for a Monday morning. Ren sat at his desk, sketchbook closed and tucked safely in his bag. His heart beat steadily, not from fear this time, but from something else. Resolve. For the first time, he wasn't hiding. He wasn't alone. Kaito sat beside him, calmly flipping through a textbook. To anyone else, he looked as cool and aloof as ever. But occasionally, his knee would nudge Ren's under the desk, or their shoulders would brush just slightly. It was subtle, but it was everything. After lunch, Miss Fuji called Ren to the art room. She smiled warmly, holding up one of his recent paintings. The night cityscape glowing with layered gold, blue, and silver. "I submitted this to the National High School Youth Art Showcase," she said. Ren blinked. What? You submitted it?" She nodded. "It's brilliant, Ren. Emotional. Honest. You have a voice, and it's time the world hears it." Tears stung his eyes. "Thank you, Miss Fuji." She placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're stronger than you think, and I'm proud of you." Meanwhile, whispers were spreading again. But this time they were different. "I heard Hayashi's art is going national." "Did you know he's been submitting works under a pen name?" Mio got called to the office today. And Yuto too. Apparently it was all lies, he never stalked Kaito. The truth was finally coming out. Ren didn't know how it happened until he saw Kaito standing outside the staff office, arms crossed, face unreadable. Later that afternoon, Kaito handed him a printout. It was a signed statement submitted by a classmate who had witnessed Mio stealing Ren's sketchbook, and another who admitted Yuto was behind the graffiti on Ren's desk. Ren looked up, speechless. Kaito shrugged. "People talk. If they're going to talk, might as well make them say something true." Ren smiled softly. "You didn't have to do all this." "I know," Kaito replied. "But I wanted to." The next morning, the homeroom teacher made an announcement. Mio Aizawa and Yuto Sakamoto have both received disciplinary action due to bullying incidents. Let this be a reminder that harassment will not be tolerated. Gasps filled the room. Mio wasn't at her desk. Yuto's seat was empty too. Ren felt the weight in his chest ease just a little. After class, a few students approached him. Not to mock. Not to whisper. But to congratulate him. "Your art's amazing, Ren. Congrats on the contest. I'm sorry for what I said before." He didn't know what to say. He simply nodded, offering a quiet but genuine "thank you." That afternoon, Kaito waited for him by the school gates. Ren walked up beside him, heart fluttering as their fingers brushed before Kaito quietly reached out and laced them together. It was bold. Public. But Kaito didn't care. They walked in silence for a while. The late summer sun warm on their backs. Then Kaito spoke, voice casual. "You're still kinda stupid." Ren rolled his eyes, grinning. "Gee, thanks." Kaito looked at him with that rare, genuine smile. "But now," he said, squeezing Ren's hand, "everyone will know you're mine." Ren's cheeks flushed. "That's kinda possessive." "I know." Kaito glanced sideways. "You don't mind, do you?" Ren laughed. Heart full. "No," he whispered. "I don't mind at all." Later that evening, under the warm amber sky, Ren sat beside Kaito at their usual rooftop spot. He pulled out his sketchbook this time. Not to hide behind, but to share. "Can I draw you?" he asked softly. Kaito raised a brow. "You already have. Like 100 times. Ren smiled. "Yeah, but this one, you'll be smiling." Kaito smirked. "Stupid." Ren laughed. "Yeah, but yours." Thank you so much for spending time with Boys Love Story today. We hope this episode touched your heart, made you smile, or even gave you a moment to escape into something beautiful. If you enjoyed the story, we'd love for you to support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with other BL lovers out there. Your support means the world and helps us create more stories filled with love, hope, and healing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new chapter. Until next time, stay safe, stay kind, and stay in love.